I got to work with Kanye, and when we was doing this song together, I went to the studio with him. I pulled out my book and started writing. He was like, "You write? You an MC?" This is like 7 years ago. I'm like, "Of course, I've been rapping since '93. Like, what are you talking about?" He was like, "I just thought you were the Don, and like you'd be like, give me raps, give me music." I'm like, yo, he said, "I think you're the Don. I'm thinking you can't rap. Like they just gotta just give." I said, "Man, are you crazy? I'm an MC."
Run that back.
So the next guest I'm bringing on, this is like memories, man. Fat Joe, really? Like, I knew Fat Joe before Fat Joe knew I knew Fat Joe. There was a whole, like, air about Fat Joe. Like, I don't know if y'all seen Godfather. He put me in the studio with Big Pun. He's the one that spearhead what became the record Caribbean Connection. Here's something you might not know. In Guantanamera, my video, Fat Joe makes an appearance. Musically, Fat Joe's incredible, and his music is representing like the immigrants. And he's making his side of the world very proud. You know what I mean? And I was like, if I could do this for the Haitians, this would be amazing. One of the most incredible human beings that I know on this planet. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, Fat Joe.
Hi, shorty, you guaranteed to be hypnotized by the remix that Wyclef provide. I don't care about your size. Girl, shake your thighs. All I'm trying to do in the hood is stay alive.
Familia.
Wyclef Jean.
What up, my fam?
Yo, Wyclef, have I ever called you just Wyclef, or I've always said Wyclef Jean, huh?
Dog, you've always said both names, first and last.
Yo, I do that with Dre, Dr. Dre, from Dr. Dre from MTV, since from back in the days. Every interview I ever do with him, I'll be like, Dr. Dre. He'd be like, "You're the only person who calls me that." I'm like, yo,
it's no joke. Every time I see you, Wyclef Jean. So, Joe, let me just start off by saying, the respect that I have for you is the only way I can express it is through music, right? So, there's a young lady out of the Bronx, and I said, I am going to see Fat Joe. And she's like barely 20-something. And so I figured the first thing I do is I want to play you a tribute to how the young generation feels about you. So this young lady's by the name of Jazzy Amra. And, it's sort of like, we always talk about people that influence culture and over again. My daughter is, 15. She loves you. You know what I mean? My mom loves you. My aunt. So I wanted to start off by playing this young new air out of the Bronx that when I said I'm gonna see you, she said she had to do a tribute for you. So let's play that so she can hear. This is a dedication to Fat Joe from Wyclef Jean and Jazzy Amra.
Out in the Bronx, that's where I come from. Kingsbridge Road. Out in the Bronx, out in the Bronx, that's where I come from. Kingsbridge Road, out in the Bronx. Welcome to the Bronx. You could keep the money, but I can't get my time back. I just tried to put you on. You could keep the money, but I can't get my time back. I just tried to put you on. Showed you ways that you could grow so you could see a better day. All the answers that you needed lie within you all the way. It's all within you. Yeah. It's all within you. I'm from the Bronx where shit really go down. It's true when they say you either swim or you drown. Always I'm more hot than a lot of these niggas now. They just wanna admit it, don't wanna give me that crown. Yeah, I be seeing but I still get it poppin'. I don't even argue, I throw the hands rockin'. Rumors know my body, I can have the streets talking. One wrong move and you will be a target. Talking. You don't want that.
So, what could I say, man? Like, they gotta run that back. It's like, I always say the best way to, as a sound boy, you know, like, all I could do is greet you with a dub plate representing you to the fullest, man. So,
you know what's crazy is the most legendary thing you ever did was come to Big Pun's funeral, and I didn't know what you was doing. And you know, in Puerto Ricans, they don't even listen to music when somebody passed away, and you plugged in the guitar and you start playing it, and them boys start singing Maria, Maria.
Yeah.
That was so crazy. And I'll never forget that, man. And I know what you mean when you say that. That's how you tribute, that's how you do it. You know, we love music, Wyclef. You know, it's, at the end of the day, we wouldn't be here this long if it wasn't for the music. You know, and I think people understand that. Shout out the young lady who sung that, man. That was
Young Jazzy Amra out of the Bronx, right? The water's out of the Bronx, man.
Kingsbridge Road. I mean, I appreciate her for doing that. You know what I'm saying? That was beautiful, man.
Yeah. So I've always called you the silent killer in the music industry. So there's parts of you that I've watched where you probably ain't even see like I'm watching, right? I'm probably like the dude from Usual Suspect, the guy who walks off the scene with the limp, and they're like, yo.
As they so shake.
Yo, so Fuji's was opening up for KRS-One. You was there. That's one of the times. And the first thing that I notice about you is similar to Puff, similar to Jay-Z. I've watched this myself as a kid. You have a pulse for talent. And what that means is all you kept around you was like superheroes, whether if it was men or women. Like you always knew like where the pulse was going. The reason I was amazed by you and I watched you very closely because I came from Haiti. And at the end of the day, coming from the, you know, being on the side of the, you know, that island, and I'm coming, and then half of the island, we got Haiti on one side, the Dominican on one side, right? And then we got Cuba, Puerto Rico, Jamaica. So for me, I was like, yo, this guy is bringing his culture to the forefront. And I was like, the only way you're gonna last, you can't just be a hip hop group, just rhyming, like you gotta bring your culture with you. So your pulse was so strong that you called me to be on a record with Big Pun. Now, this is crazy because to the average person, they would never in their mind think, wait up, Wyclef and Big Pun, like, wait, you mean Clef is gonna sing a hook? No, Clef is gonna bar with Big Pun. Like, you were such a hip hopper because you seen us as kids. Like, you seen us smash the KRS-One show. You know, y'all created the Hood Stock, which we'll get into in Uptown. You know what I mean? You and Pun, y'all came in and crushed that. So you called me for that record, and I want to take you back to that studio session real quick. Scott Storch did the beat. So let's go back to that session, and I want you to talk about, you know, what made you go there with me, you know what I'm saying? Flashbacks, man.
Warning, yo, wanna rumble with the Pun, huh? Shit on the whole industry, yeah. Puff more hours than Pun, prime more styles than Pun. Who the only one with over 1,000 guns? Run it up in niggas' cribs like I paid the bills. Make it sweat.
private dollar. I'm all about the fundamentals. A gun, a pencil, a piece of paper, a decent game plan. Someone to strength you. My mental's compatible with the radicals. My odyssey type qualities allow me to poly with animals. Niggas is cannibals in the ghettos, the jungle where you either pedal your bundles or struggle to civil and humble. My niggas will rumble with any man for a penny friend. Try to imagine what they can fathom for 20 grand.
Do 1,000 pieces.
We dice you into 1,000 pieces. We pound out, we shit into the ground. Uptown, up in the boogie down. Just wildin' and Gene, piling the cream, surrounded in green like flowers in spring. But now I'm a king, so it's more than money. All the honeys used to call me Bunny, cause my fam was always hungry. But now we rollin' lovely and you feel worse. Want my money, let your steel burst, cause I'd rather see you in hell first. I'm selling petty gold.
Yo, what's the dealie, yo?
I'm uptown making moves just like Castro. I'm selling petty gold.
Yo, what's the dealie, yo?
I'm uptown making moves just like Castro.
Yo, keep the lights, keep the camera. All I want is the action. A battle zone where I roam in composition. A hardcore crowd waiting to see if I break like your first time in jail when you got fucked by an inmate. It'll never happen. I'm on balance like a Libra. And if I get murdered, don't cry for me, Argentina. Pour me a cup of vodka, bury me next to my father. In 3 days I rise like Christ and still sober. Now my eyes open, in my hands I got the Gatlin. I'm looking for the guy that sent me to say hi to Satan. Fist of fury, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. I turn Mr. Rogers' neighborhood topsy-turvy. Foes and enemies meaning the same in the dictionary. This ain't Pictionary. All you see is the cemetery bodies. From World War I and II is there. You don't want a third war, that's nuclear warfare. So big punt, count the stats, make it fast. Illegal money turns legal. Now we running a laundromat. Your hunchback, that whack rap, you pack in your backpack. You're better off in DC with the mayor smoking crack. Yo, this ain't a diss. Wyclef bomb threat, run out of the building or get blasted in your guest. Tech for tech, or we could go text for text. Oh, I forgot, you don't reason take this hole in your chest. Blow. Hide the blood, give you the gun, running high. So when the DT shows up, you thought it was a suicide. Suicide, it's a suicide.
I'm selling petty gold.
Yo, what's the dealie, yo?
I'm uptown making moves just like Castro.
I was in that studio session. Joe, this is all you. Like you, this is all your brilliance of taking the cultures and putting them together. Like, I have to make sure that this is documented in history. Talk to me about that. How did you see that? Because a lot of people didn't even know I could go in that direction.
First of all, let me tell you that you embraced being Caribbean out the gate, and I can say the same thing of you. When Fuji's at their prime and they winning Grammys, you got the Haitian flag up in the air. And that was always powerful for me because people don't really rep their culture like that. And so just yesterday on Instagram, I found out, well, he was too young, but Pop Smoke, I just found out he was Panamanian. Like, so if he was still here with us, I wish we would have known that. So a lot of people don't embrace their culture like you did. And you always just talking about the Caribbean connection. So I stepped to you, actually it's very early in Big Pun's career. I said, y'all got an artist, he's Big Pun. I don't know if you remember, we was at the Tunnel. You was like 30 platinum. That's what they really need to understand. You was like 30 platinum. I mean, like 30 million albums sold, not streamed. People went and bought it. And I'm talking to you about my new artist. And you say, yo, Joe Crack, I'd do anything for you, my brother. Where do you want me to go? What studio? I'm coming, whatever. So that's the first thing. That's like me bumping into Drake, telling him I got a new artist from the Bronx that I want him to rap with. And that was that type of shit. Yeah. And then when you went in there, you went for yours. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you always, you know, Fuji's, Wyclef, always been like that. Always been real hip hop, melodic, but you use, or like even in the chorus, you sing in Spanish. Mucho.
Yeah, of course.
Poquito dinero. And it's crazy because that shows your genius and your brilliance. because you was earlier than me, I think, with embracing all the music you know. So now when I make music, it's everything I know. I know too much music, so then that's how we create now. But you did that from day one, and you went bar for bar with Big Pun. That's no question. How do you feel after Big Pun blew up and everybody was speaking like he's the most lyrical dude in the world, and you actually got a record on his classic album going toe-to-toe with him?
Well, I mean, for me, what was amazing is, English was a language that we use as a weapon, right? Because I came from Haiti, I grew up in Marlboro Projects in Coney Island. So, growing up in Coney Island at the time, it was ran by the Italian mafia. And, literally you come from the islands, then my cousins, they're on Flatbush, they go to Erasmus, all kind of things happen. You see family members start to get killed. You see people start to get deported, right? Now, you are amongst all of that. So it's like automatically a ratchet and a gun just become more important to you than a notebook. You know what I mean? So one day I saw two guys in each other's face, right? And then one thing I was good in the hood was with the slap boxing. I was nice. So I was like Mayweather with my slap boxing. So I was like, and I had a crazy knife game. You know what I mean? I'm Haitian. I'm, so zoed up, for real. So at the end of the day, when I saw these two dudes going up at each other's face, I told my man, this guy's insulting this other guy's mother. How come they not fighting? There's no guns being pulled, no ratchet being pulled. He said, yo, that's called battle rapping. So I said, oh. So I said, so you mean I won't have to get into as much fights as I won't have get into, and they'll accept me, and they're not gonna pull out? I could say whatever I want. He said, yo, once in a while a fight might break out depending on what you say, but this is the culture. So I literally was how I could become a big wordsmith in battle rhyming. So the thing is, I never get a chance to use that side of my brain. So literally, a music teacher discovered me when we moved to Jersey. She saw me playing all these instruments. She was like, you're gonna start jazz tomorrow. I was like, I'm not gonna do jazz. I'm gonna be like LL Cool J. I want to be a battle rapper. Cause LL was one of my biggest idols, from when he walked in the room with the box, you know what I'm saying? Russell and them is there. So I've always been an immigrant amazed by the culture. So she was like, you gonna study jazz. So she put me in jazz. And I said this before in the podcast, I'll say it again because you probably don't know it. My first music video ever, I was an extra for Eric B. and Rakim, Don't Sweat the Technique. That's me on upright bass. So for me, boom, 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 boom. So for me, when I listened to the Pun record, I remember you in the studio, I remember the session. What was amazing to me was it took me back to my origin. The origin of being a wordsmith and using it, for a weapon. You know what I'm saying to you? For me, that was pretty amazing. And in watching Hoodstock, remember, cause in Harlem, the idea of Hoodstock, when I don't know if people understand, there was Woodstock and then there was Hoodstock in Harlem. And the energy of I don't think people understand. Okay, let me paint this for them, Joe, cause okay, let me explain to them. Cause I'm 3 trillion%. My cousin Haitian Jack is probably watching this. 3 trillion%. He's in the DR. Let me explain this. Yo, when these guys, you have to understand, let me tell these youth something. When Terror Squad would come, it was the best way to explain it to you, right, is because I was if I could go back and talk to myself 30 years ago, and I'm yo, young Wyclef at 20, and then I was like, yo, now that I escape, sleepwalk, or wake, those that could relate know the world ain't cake, jail bars ain't golden gates, those who fake they break when they meet their 400-pound mate. If I could rule the world, everyone would have a gun. In the ghetto, of course. I was like, yo, so I'm 20-something, and everybody is gang related. Like, we all are really gang related. But for us, this is what they don't understand. The gang really was a tribe. It was really a tribe, because when Terror Squad came through, you was like, yo, Latinos, Latinas is about to come through here, and it's sort of like you saw Puerto Rico, you saw Cuba, you saw the Dominican Republic, you saw Spanish Harlem. So I have to have people understand that when we look at you coming up, you was equivalent to when we watched the movie The Godfather. That's the best way I could explain it to people. I'm just talking about the back in the day, Joe. Like, it's so important when people hear Terror Squad to understand what made it amazing. Was, I always say a gang is a tribe thing, and that's what I want people to understand. Because where we come from, automatically, the part of the projects that you're from, you automatically gonna be part of your own. That's just naturally what it was. So for me, whenever y'all would come, the air that you possess, the energy that you possess, and the fact that, and then there was a whole Malcolm X side to you. The Malcolm X side to you was like, okay, you just getting out of jail? Come on, man. You out of jail? Don't get in no bullshit no more. You're gonna roll with me and I'm gonna change your life. So it was sort of like the air that you possessed was both, it was like, in the Godfather movie, like, it's better they fear him. You had a natural air about you where motherfuckers know, dude, don't go there. And then you had another side of you, which was like a fucking teddy bear. Like, literally, when you see Wyclef Jean, come up, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, but this is Fat Joe, man. Like, so this is the Terror Squad.
It's crazy, right? Because I told this story before, but I got to work with Kanye, and when we was doing this song together, I went to the studio with him. I pulled out my book and started writing. He was like, you write? You an MC? This is like 7 years ago. I'm like, of course, I've been rapping since 9-3. Like, what are you talking about? He was like, I just thought you were the Don. And like, you'd be like, give me raps, give me music. I'm like, yo, he said, I think you're the Don. I'm thinking you can't rap. Like, they decided to just give. I said, man, are you crazy? I'm an MC. And Wyclef, similar to you, I had it real rough growing up. And just to tell you hip hop, just to go back to what you were saying, in the Bronx, they knew me. But when I went to my uncle's house in Queens or my uncle's in Brooklyn, and I would battle rap, I'm talking about early in hip hop, they want to beat me up. Because they're like, yo, who's this Spanish kid looking like a white boy with green eyes and blonde hair talking all this gangster shit? We ain't trying to hear that. Yeah. And so I always tell people I was the original Eminem. Like, they was looking at me like I was crazy. If you ain't know me, you know what I'm saying? So imagine Fat Joey Crack before he was famous and you didn't even know. And he's just walking through B-Bomber acting like the same Fat Joe, but even crazy. And I was in trouble so much, man. I used to forget who I had to fight with the day before. Like I'd be like, oh, word, I fought him? Like, because I was into so much shit, growing up. And just, if people really want to get a perspective, it was like really, really tough. And where I'm from, no Puerto Ricans, no Spanish people had juice there. None. I am the original flag holder in my neighborhood. So it was like 99. I give you 95 because I've been looking at old pictures. So my old classroom pictures, 95% black. And then Joe, I wound up having to go for mines, and I wound up becoming the leader of my neighborhood, like, the boss. And But you can imagine what type of shit. I used to have to fight 9 brothers. So if I fought Kenneth Crawford, then they bring out Jamal Crawford. Then they bring out Lavelle Crawford. And they keep getting bigger and more diesel. I gotta fight everybody. So one thing they do is like, this motherfucker crazy. Like Fat Joe is crazy. Like he ready to go with everybody. But so we always had to roll with force. You know what I'm saying? So even when we came in the industry, it was some serious guys in the industry. You just shouted out Haitian Jack, Jay-Z and these guys, the Rockefeller. Everybody was like moving like, you know what I'm saying? Nas is a nice guy, we know that now, but when he used to come through, he would come through with 100 Queensbridge guys. And so we represented that. Me, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm Latino, I'm proud, Puerto Rican and Cuban, but I never looked at myself as just like the Puerto Ricans coming through, because people think I'm crazy, but I think I'm blacker than a lot of black people. I say that because they didn't grow up with us and they don't know where I'm from. So, you know, sometimes I go on Twitter and they say Fat Joe's a white Caucasian guy. And I be like, yo, these people are crazy. Like, do they know where the fuck I'm from? Do they know who I am? Do you know where I'm birthed? Do you know do you understand where I come from? And it's like, it's crazy to me. So to me, I grew up thinking I was black. This is a real story, Wyclef. So, you know, and it wasn't until I got like in high school that I met other Puerto Ricans. So my high school had other Puerto Ricans from all over the Bronx. And they was like, yo, come with me to my hood. When I went to their hood, and they was blasting Southside out the window and Puerto Rican flags and Dominican. I was like, what the fuck? Because we didn't have Instagram then. I was like, yo, what is this? They was like, oh no, the Spanish run shit over here. I'm like, oh shit, for real? Like, this exists? And that's what I got in tune with my Latino roots, like really got in tune with my Latino roots. But it's crazy, man. You know, that's how you had to be, man. We came up at a different time.
Yo, that's, man, it's so crazy because I so understand that, and I would literally have felt just like Kanye if you didn't bring me into the big pun session, like meaning like, you know, like I said, in the early days I figured out, like, and that's why I give the comparison to like, you know, Puff and Jay, because I've watched you in your ear and the consistency of how you're able to find talent. You know, it's like today you just getting started all over again. But before I let you go, we're going to close out a rumor. So my show is called Run That Back because certain shits that happen, they're gonna have to run it back. And you know I'm a music man. So I always tell the story of how the Fugees stole Fat Joe's beat, right? So Salam Remy, shout out to Salam, and everyone who's listening, like that literally, Salam, I learned how to produce certain styles of music watching Salam. So Salam have everything in the top 10 at the time, we all coming up. And the Fugees, he just did a record for us called Mona Lisa. And we go into the studio and he plays this beat, y'all. I don't wanna mess it up for y'all. When he plays the beat, he tells us this beat is for Fat Joe. Like, I need y'all to really pay attention. Salam goes, this beat is for Fat Joe. And we go, all right, that's cool. Can we try something on the beat? So what I need everybody to do is I'm gonna play the beat that was originally the Fugees stole from Fat Joe, but I'm gonna put a twist to it, and Fat Joe have not even heard this yet. So here we go, listen to this tune.
I don't give a fuck about your faults or mishaps. We from the Bronx, New York. happens. Kids clapping, love to spark the place. Happens in the squad, got a scar on their face. It's a cold world and this is ice. Half a meal for the charm, this is life. Got the phantom in front of the building, Trinity, yeah. 10 years been legit, they still figure me bad. As a young, was too much to cope with. Why you think my nickname the cook? Should have been called on robbery, extortion, or maybe grand larceny. I did it all, I put the pieces to the puzzle. Just as long I knew me and my people was gonna bubble. Came out the gate on some flojo. That with the shotty was the logo kid. Said my nigga don't dance, he just pull up her pants and do the rock away. Now lean back, lean back, lean back. Come on, I said my don't dance, he just pull up her pants and do the rock away. Come on, now lean back, lean back, lean back, lean back. Come on.
Ooh la la la, it's the way that we rock when we doing our thing. Ooh la la la, it's the natural law that the refugees bring. Ooh la la la, so leaving.
Oh, you Wyclef, you trying to make me cry.
Joey crack, man. I told you, we gotta run that back, man.
Yo, they don't know that was my beat, the Fuji La, man. Yo.
Yeah, that is Fat Joe's beat. I just wanted to set the record, and the only way I could do it as a producer was because there's always been, it was Fat Joe's record. So here you go. I literally did one of my famous, DJ Khaled blends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Now listen, let me tell you, Wyclef, my 3 biggest epic missed moments. Definitely Fuji La, right? That was my beat. Y'all got it. Salam Remy was like, yo, I was like, all right, they can have it.
Yeah.
Second was not signing Eminem. Eminem gave me his demo 6 times.
Yeah.
Third was I made Candy Shop with Scott Storch. And then 50 Cent came in the studio right after me and wanted the beat. And Scott Storch called me 20 times, like, you sure? I was like, yo, give it to him. Those 3 missed moments, Candy Shop, signing Eminem, and the Fuji La beat. Those are epic failures, man. Those are moments.
Okay. All right, we about to make a deal right here on this podcast right now. So I have an epic moment for you, number 4. Jazzy Amra from the Bronx. Let's do it together. She's from the Bronx. She's from your area. She got that soul with her. And let's just do that one together.
Let's do it, man. Let's go.
All right, Joe, I'm about to get
I'm
your
not
number.
gonna pass you up on that. You know music like you know music. And I know how to get it popping.
I know what you do. I think we can announce that because what's beautiful is, this is what I was saying. Like, no matter how much an older generation want to hold on to the air of music, no matter what they want to do, Fat Joe, Wyclef, Jay-Z, DJ Khaled, Puffy, I could keep Nas. We the next in the seats. So everybody have their part. I know my part. You know what I'm saying? I'm following after Quincy Jones. You know your part. So at the end of the day, we all know our parts. And I think that the reason why I wanted a music show was for moments like this. Because we all are moving so fast. It's like, what are you doing? What am I doing? And I think that, like when you say like missed opportunities, also I could think of a few, but I think that the seats that we are in today, when I'm tuned into your talk show and your podcast, which by the way is insanely amazing.
Thank you, my brother.
And shout out to Angie Martinez that I love to death. So when I'm looking at, and also Remy, when I'm looking at your podcast and the energy in which you're coming with, and me knowing that you're a music man first, you know what I mean? That's why I really wanted you on, and I think that the whole thing, I ain't gonna front. We was like, yo, is Fat Joe gonna be cool with this, Salam? Is he gonna be cool with this? So I think today, I think today on Run That Back, at least I was able to take a vocal and throw it, and I'm gonna get your digos, and I think let's focus on this Jazzy Amra for the next 2 years and see what happens. We can't go
Let's
wrong.
do it, my brother. Just hit me up. I'm with you. 1,000,000%.
I'm with you, and I love you too. Salute to
I love
you,
you too, Wyclef.
the whole gang. All right,
Number
King.
love, my brother.
All right, my
Peace.
king. Bless.
Thank you.
Yo, I think she's eyeing me from far. Yeah, we back. Acoustic vibes. And anyone that's like tuned into the acoustic, like what we do is we look for things that are not perfect. Like imperfection is perfection. Like we're not trying to polish up nothing. Cause I think like if you heard all of our first demos, like my shit was whack. You know what I'm saying? But you couldn't tell me, nah, I'm with the Fuji. First demo, terrible. So I love growth, and I was on Fat Joe's podcast, and I was telling Fat Joe, there's another girl out of the Bronx. I'm telling you, she's the wave. Named Jazzy Amra. I'm telling you, got to check this person out. So, young Jazzy, great to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. The
Run
Bronx.
That Back.
Run That Back. The Bronx is in the house.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. You have a beautiful voice. I remember when Madeline Nelson brought me to you, I was like, here's an angel singing from the Bronx. And I would say definitely like the thing with your voice is definitely captures the audience, because it captured me because you were singing a cappella, you know what I mean? And I must always shout out the Bronx because shout out to Queen Latifah. So I remember when I was going on tour with Queen Latifah and was the Fugees, and a fight broke out. I don't know if Latifah remember that. And the first people that stepped up, Latifah had like a whole like gang thing that she used to do. She still does it. I think she goes, sk. And it's like, if you from Jersey, it's like some double I shit. Like, it's going down. And I remember us being like the first people to jump up ready to fight. So I remember like being on a bus with you. I don't know where we was at, and something was gonna go down. And I ran out like barefooted, some Haitian vibes. And then I turned around, and there you was, like Jazzy Amra, Bronx, like, yo,
Anything
what we
happen to
doing?
you is us. I'm defending
Yeah, you like, what
it's
we
family.
doing?
It's a family.
So
My short self.
Yeah.
What can I do?
Yo, but it was the heart. So shout out to you, your whole energy.
Always, Club. Yeah. It's not that I don't love you. You know how much I do. And it's not that I found somebody to take the place of you. But it's just this feel within me when you touch my hand, and the feel that shakes my body, and I don't understand, so I'm leaving. Yeah. This time I'm playing it smart. I'm gonna walk away from love before love breaks my heart. Say, I'm gonna walk away from love. You cling to me tighter, tighter than you have before. But you know it's gonna take everything to stop me walking out that door. See your arms that you've got around me won't let me go someday. So I'm leaving. Yes, I am. This time I'm playing it smart. I'm gonna walk away from love before love breaks my heart. I'm gonna walk away from love. I'm gonna walk away from love. I'm gonna walk away from love. Yes, sir.
If death comes to me tonight, girl, I want you to know that I loved you. And no matter how tough I would have been, only to you I would reveal my tears. Tell the police I ain't home tonight. Messing around with you is gon' get me like. But when I look into your eyes, you worth that sacrifice. Yeah, yeah. If this is the kind of love that my mom used to want me back, I'm in trouble. I'm in real big trouble. If this is the kind of love that the old folks used to warn me about, I'm in trouble. I'm in real big trouble. I can't call no 911. All they do is shoot us down to the ground, and it's piercing through my soul. Feel my body getting cold, so cold, so cold, so cold, so cold. Someone please call 911. The alleged assailant is 5'1", and she shot me through my soul. Feel my body getting cold, so cold, so cold.
Sometimes I feel like I'm a prisoner. Seems like I'm trapped here for a while. Yeah, yeah. And every breath I fight to take, yeah. Is as hard as these four walls I wanna break. Oh. I told the cops you wasn't here tonight. Messing around with me is gonna get you live. Yeah. But every time I look into your eyes, man, it's worth the sacrifice.
If this is the kind of love that my mom used to warn me about, I'm in trouble. I'm in real bad trouble. If this is the kind of love that the old folks used to warn me about, I'm in trouble. I'm in real big. Take it away, Jazzy.
Someone please call 911. Tell them I just got shot down, and the bullets in my heart and this piercing through my soul. Feel my body getting cold, so cold, so cold.
But I can't call no 911.
Not no more.
'Cause all they do is shoot us down to the ground, and it's piercing through my soul.
And it's piercing through my soul.
Feel my body getting cold.
So cold, so cold.
Jazzy Yambra, the Bronx.
Killer. That's my girl. Amazing. Y'all can clap now, please. Thank you.